Channel surfing on over to TV and streaming. There's a couple of things, not quite the biggest section that we've ever had for TV streaming, but it's still pretty hefty. First, praise here. We have a new announcement for another season for a giant, massive series that's going on right now. We officially have word that season 3 is happening. We have huge news for horror fans because the Jason Voorhees prequel show on Peacock is now casting. We also have a little bit of an update for Andor Season 2, and by a little bit, I mean we know the release date, we got another trailer, there's a whole lot of stuff going on there. There's really some heavy hitters this week in TV streaming, even though it is a little bit smaller, so either way, let's check it out. Welcome, nerds, to the Clips channel. What you are about to watch is the TV news that happened this past week since the last time you were here. There is a larger video that this is a part of called The Week in Nerddom. You can go check that out over on the main channel, Generally Nerdy, and you get into all of the topics in that one video, so comic books and music and movies, etc., etc. Or you can just keep coming back here for these shorter versions, which come out a little bit later, so the stuff over on the main channel is going to be a little more up-to-date, a little more relevant, if you will. But either way, you're getting news, and that's the point, and this is the TV news, not like, I'm Tom Brokaw, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Not that kind of news. We're talking TV news like TV shows and that kind of stuff. So, without any further ado, let's hit the news. TV streaming is our biggest section this week, so follow-ups and corrections is kind of the meat and potatoes of it. We're going to start things off with the Smallville animated series. We talked about this when it was originally just an idea that Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum had, that they were kind of pitching to the producers at WB, the original producers of Smallville even, because one of them is still part of the project. I'm getting ahead of myself. It is not happening, at least not yet. It is still on the table. It's just been moved really far back on the table because since we talked about this last, James, well, no, there have been a couple of minor updates since then, but since it was originally announced as actually being a thing that they were going forward with, James Gunn and Peter Safran, wow, I almost forgot his name, have taken over that portion of Warner Brothers. So what with the regime change, things have gotten kind of pushed around. So producer Alfred Gough, who is the co-creator and producer on the live action show, he appeared on the Talk Ville podcast with Rosenbaum and, oh good lord, I just said his name, Tom Welling. Woohoo! Thank you, notes. With Rosenbaum and Welling, and they were talking about the future for the animated show. It is still a thing that is still potentially going to happen. He was very clear in that right now it's just change things, and so because they were pre-regime change, they kind of got pushed off to the side. It sounds as though I don't know this explicitly because he didn't say explicitly, but it sounds as though Alfred Gough has spoken with James Gunn about the potential for this to happen, and he kind of just got brushed off, is the impression that I get from this interview. So it will hopefully happen in the future, but there is no active production on this anytime soon. So that's our update there. Next up is a real quick one. Severance, Season 3, officially happening. As if that was actually a question that needed to be asked. So yes, we know that's happening. And then we have Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. We've talked, this is the first time we've used the title for the show, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why we didn't talk about it when they gave it a title, though we might have, so don't hold me to that. But this is the spinoff from The Big Bang Theory. So Stuart, as played by, where is his name? Kevin Sussman is going to be the same actor who played Stuart. We also have John Ross Bowie, who was Barry Kripke. We have Lauren Lapkus, who played Denise, and Brian Posehn, who, I mean, you've got to know who Brian Posehn is, but in the show, he is Bert Kibbler. We're now into the writing stage on this production. However, something super interesting here is we do not have the go-ahead from, who is it, Max, for this to continue. Right now, it is Chuck Lorre and a couple of the other producers who are in charge of The Big Bang Theory are funding it themselves until they can get the go-ahead from Max to actually create this show. There are two episode scripts that exist. They've done table reads for it, but it's still not officially happening yet. I think that is incredibly interesting. Like, Chuck Lorre just really has a lot of faith in this show. So I am a bit of a fan of The Big Bang Theory. I don't think it's a bad thing that the nerds are the punchline. The nerds are also the ones doing the setup. The nerds are also the focus of the damn show. Yes, I realize there are some other issues that we're not going to get into. We've actually talked about ad nauseum on the channel at least once or twice. But yeah, I'm still a fan. I don't care what you say. I think Big Bang Theory is hilarious. And I'm very excited to see what the spin-off series is going to bring us. And then our other big piece of follow-up news has to do with the Crystal Lake series. So this is the prequel Friday the 13th. Not Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th. My brain just farted. So prequel Friday the 13th series. It's going to be over on Peacock. We got casting announcement. This isn't rumor, this is confirmed. Linda Cardellini has been cast as Pamela Voorhees, aka Mrs. Voorhees, aka Jason's freaking mom. Linda Cardellini. I remember when I was in like 7th grade, I had a little bit of a crush on Linda Cardellini, not gonna lie. So that's honestly pretty great. I'm super excited to see what the hell comes of that. That though is all we have since it is just follow-up. So let's move right along into some trailers. We do have 2 trailers this week. First up is the Andor trailer, season 2 final trailer. April 22nd is when we're going to be seeing Andor. Let's do more Star Wars like this, please. This trailer is doing all of the right things. We got a little bit of tease because this is where it has to tie into Rogue One. And we know where it's going, but we are still excited to watch the journey there. Like, that is what we need out of our Star Wars. Absolutely freaking awesome. Let's move on. Our other trailer this week is Alien Earth, the new FX series. Still no proper release date for this one, just sometime this summer, though now that we have, this is more of like clip from a scene than a trailer for it, but doing the thing. Still super worried about the continuity issues with this show versus the rest of the Alien franchise, but I have a little bit more faith that it will, if nothing else, be entertaining, even if they get the mythology wrong. So go check out the trailer. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Like I said at the beginning of the season, this is going to be a big merch push season. We are jumping in to doing the merch. I have the first specialty piece lined up. It's probably going to drop next month though, so we're looking at April for our first specialty piece. So jump in now, get yourself some basic nerd shirts, just the real basic design. Let the world know that you are a nerd and you love the things that we talk about on this show. In the broad strokes, at the very least, there's the music nerd, there's the movie nerd, there's the gaming nerd and the tech nerd and all of the different kinds of nerds that we embrace here at Generally Nerdy, and then all of the other ones. If you feel like your category has been missed, please by all means let me know and I will make a shirt based on that information, assuming I agree with said information. But either way, merch push, go check out the merch store. We got some pretty awesome stuff and I'm actually quite proud of these designs because I did them all by hand. So thank you very much, nerds. Go check out the merch store. Don't forget to, pick something up while you're there. Helps the channel a lot. As soon as we can start regularly getting merch out, I can start cutting back hours at the day job. That's how this works. I can focus more on entertaining and informing you guys. So thank you very much, nerds. Let's get back to the video. Let's move on though to regular ass news. We now have word that Netflix has the rights to another show that they probably shouldn't, because now they're going to reboot Little House on the Prairie. That's right. Little House on the Prairie is going to get a reboot because Netflix just refuses to let sleeping dogs lie. If it was popular before, it's gonna make us money now, right? I mean, if if you just streamed the original series, I bet that would make you just enough. You just promote that. Like, I don't know. But they have the rights to Little House on the Prairie, and they fully intend on using it. That's kind of all we know right now. No one has been attached to the project just yet, but they have made it known that they're going to be doing a reboot for Little House on the Prairie. Oh man, if they make this like a Yellowstone ripoff show, like what an absolute waste of a potentially interesting thing. Anyway, from there we have American Dad in the news. Season 20, that makes me feel super old, but season 20 is going to be back over on Fox. After spending 11 years on TBS, it is going to get revived on Fox. It's just continuing the story that's been going on the show. It's just half of its lifespan has now been spent on TBS and not Fox, which also makes the second show that Seth MacFarlane has made that has been canceled and then revived on the Fox network, which is a weird distinguishment. So yeah, there's that. That's what we got for regular ass news. Let's talk about our suggestion this week. We're getting ready for new season of Black Mirror, so you better re-up yourself on the previous seasons of Black Mirror. The first 3 seasons are only about 3 episodes long. I would say if you've never seen an episode of Black Mirror before, ever, start with season 1, episode 2. If you start with episode 1, that is very not indicative of anything else that happens in this series. Not that really it's anthological in nature, meaning each episode stands on its own for the most part. There are a couple of sequel episodes which are getting in the new season, so that's another reason to re-up your knowledge of Black Mirror, but USS Callisto being a very specific example. But some of the tech is really what follows through from episode to episode. No storylines, aside from, again, a couple of exceptions. No storylines continue from episode to episode. But if you judge the entire series based on that first episode, you've made a horrible mistake. That first episode is a big outlier, and I think was meant to weed out the weak. So watch season 1 starting with episode 2 and then go back to episode 1 once you've finished, because it's only, like I said, like 3 episodes or so in season 1, and then continue on from there, because some fantastic X-Files meets the Twilight Zone awesomeness that I can't even put into proper words right now. It's up on Netflix. Go watch Black Mirror. That's your suggestion for the week. Thank you very much, nerds, for tuning in. If you want to level up your nerdy, geeky, pop culture knowledge, then don't forget to subscribe and do all of the things. Go check out the main channel, Generally Nerdy, for the larger portion. Again, you get all of the sections into one convenient video over on Generally Nerdy. The name of the show is The Week in Nerddom. Thank you for checking out this clip. We will see you next time. Before we go, though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, probably here.